This is Popular Front, a podcast focused on the very niche and kind of geeky details of modern warfare with me, Jake Hanrahan. Today we're speaking to Xebat Abbas. She's a journalist, filmmaker and NGO worker from and based in Syria in the northeast. She's going to be speaking about the conditions inside al-Hol camp, which is where the so-called ISIS brides are being held by the SDF in Syria, having been picked up in the last stronghold in Baghouz. I went around al-Hol with Xebat. She's done a lot of work there, and on the Patreon we will actually have a bonus next week with a long interview with two of these ISIS brides. These two that we spoke to were from the Caribbean, believe it or not. If you want to hear that, be sure to go to the Patreon and support patreon.com/popularfront. Apologies for the audio. We recorded this in Syria whilst driving, so it is what it is. So we just got out of al-Hol camp. Maybe you can explain firstly what is al-Hol, the history behind it, why is it there, who's there, you know.
Al-Hol camp, I think the history of establishing this camp, it was since 90s. The first refugees have been in this camp. I think it was either the Palestinian, they came from Iraq and Jordan, I don't know, they have been established for them, or for the Yazidi during the massacre during Saddam Hussein time in Iraq. So they have been there. During the Syrian crisis, it started with the Mosul operation. When it started, the Iraqi refugees came out here, and also during the different operations in different parts, regions here around for the Syrian IDPs, also they have been located here. And since the Baghouz time, ISIS families, I think around 63,000 of ISIS wives and children have been located in this camp right now.
Okay, and what about your work? Can you talk about your work, because you've worked in here a lot, right?
Yeah, somehow, because I'm working with the UNHCR, so we are coming regularly, and we, to responding to different services that we are providing to the population here.
And maybe you can explain a little bit about the security there, because we've just been round, we know 3 Asaish have been stabbed. They're talking, don't go in the car because, stones will get thrown at you. What are they facing there?
Yeah, actually the security problems, it's emerged after the around January 2019, when the ISIS family started to be evacuated to this camp. So after they have been located there, the security incidents started to be appear time to time, or almost weekly. It's an ISIS wife with the very radical Islamist ideology, so they are not accepting anyone who are not copying them, the way of dress, the way of talking, the way of their beliefs. So for example, they are attacking all the people who have been already here, the Syrian IDPs, the Iraqi refugees, and they are always, even last time I met Iraqi man, he was saying I was smoking in the market, and one of them, she approached me and she said, you have to stop this because it's a haram. And also another Iraqi wife, she was telling me I was next to my husband they have this black abaya, but the ISIS wives, they are asking them in order to wear the fully Sharia like them and cover their face totally. Also another incident happened, I remember the school have been established by UNICEF, and ISIS wives, they burn it just because the wife of the guard, she is not covering her face. And also they attacking all the NGO. For example, for me, I'm now there, you see, I wear a hijab, because otherwise they will gonna attack me. And I'm avoiding to go to the foreigner section or to the Syrian Aleppo section, because they are most dangerous people or radical. Even if we are walking between the Iraqis section or Syrian IDPs, we are wearing the al-hijab or whatever. We try to show our respect to them, or to protect ourselves to not attack us. They also attacked not just the Asaish or armed people, they are attacking all the NGOs. Any person who is implementing there, it doesn't matter which kind of service they are providing to them, they will gonna attack, they will gonna stab you. And the incidents of burning the tents, stoning the cars always, and using the children in order to attack, because they know that's the safe administration. They are not they will not going to put the children in a prison, or will not going to punish them, so they are using their children in order to attack the other persons. And recently they started also this individual wolves attack, which is they have the knives, they are using the normal knives of the kitchen, and they are attacking, some of them more knives, they are attacking, and they stabbed two men last time. And also last time I have been there, they attacked the Asaish guy, and also they stabbed him, and he's still in the hospital. So yeah, this is the security there.
It it's a mess. Like, why do you think that the Aleppo and the foreign women are so extreme? Because it's those people that are carrying out these attacks mostly, from what I understand.
Because somehow the Aleppo, I study in Aleppo, so I know this background about them. They are Arab Sunni, already they are conservative, they have this Islam Brotherhood history in Aleppo, so it's not a new thing. You know, they have a very long background of this radicalism, so there is a ground for them. When they joined ISIS, they became more violent. During the regime, the time they couldn't, after the Hamas, after 80s, they weren't able to spread this radicalism anymore in Syria. But after they have been joined, and they are the biggest number from Syrian, it's like beside the Deir ez-Zor and Raqqa, because they geographically have been used their territory for ISIS, it's Aleppo who came from Alep and joined them, or Idlib or Hama. So Aleppo already they have a background of Islam, radical Islam, and foreigner already they passed all this way, not just because to make a tour, it's like, you know, tourism around. They are here because of ideology. They converted from different things. They came to here because they do believe in Aqidah, as they said. So there is a belief there.
We spoke to two girls from the Caribbean who were, you know, ISIS brides, as they call them. What did you think about them?
I don't know which perspective. I mean, because they are completely, for me, all our discussion with them, they were still not regret. They are so believe. They think that they do the right thing. Even when I asking her, like, you are forcing the others to copying this, she was like, no, if I will catch you, we're gonna try to convince you by Islam. I said, I'm already Muslim. And she was like, yeah, but she was look like not convincing because I'm just not wearing the same clothes or the same attitude of her. So I don't think there is a hope of it. It looks like really they are radical. Their way of looking to us, their way of discussing about Dawla, they're denying all the crimes that the ISIS have been implemented and just justifying that by its personal stories. It's a personal act by some males in the ISIS time, and that they didn't witness it, any of that horrible, you know, beheading and things. Even when I asked about the Yazidis, she was like saying like, yeah, she was in love with her guy who sellers. So she tried to always justifying everything that's happened, and they are so still in this belief. You can see it.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. It was like they definitely weren't repentant, you know, like acting like, oh, it's just a few bad eggs, you know.
No, they were completely like, even when, you know, after all this brutality, some of them, I met some of them that they said like, after we came to here, we regretted a little bit after we saw the horror, but we couldn't escape. Those women, no, they stay until the end, until Baghuz. And they are still complaining about like, yeah, everyone targeted us just because we wanted to be in a safe haven in this ground, and we didn't hurt anyone, we didn't do anyone just because we are a Muslim, everyone attack us. No, it's not true. It's completely not true. You can, you know, do your norms in your country in a different places around the world as a Muslim, and no one will go. And it's not a reason people attack you because of you are a Muslim. It's because of the terrorist thing and the ISIS done to all the humanity and to the people who are living in this region.
Yeah, you've been around to a few of the tents. You said you've been in them. You see how they're living. Like, we couldn't really do that. How are they living? You know, what's life like for them in al-Hol?
Yeah, in the beginning when we received it with the Syrian and Iraqi IDPs, I have been usually with them. We make time to time register them, discussing with them. They are normal. Even inside the tents, they are like way of dressing, way of speaking. They are normal, nice people. You know, you can chat with them, you can have a tea with them. But with the ISIS section wives, especially the foreigner ISIS wives, I have been in a different occasion there. Now I'm afraid, but before I dare to go there. In the beginning when they came from Baghuz, so in a different occasions I was walking around, and because I'm a female, I was like just we say Salaam Alaikum and we opened the door of the tent, so I was just looking there, and I was surprised how the way of dressing inside the tent itself, you know, they are completely fully makeup, and they just came from a war, you know, place supposed to be, and the way they were dressing almost naked, and they are so care about like, I don't know, it shocked me, you know, even we are in this region, we are in a home also, but it's no need to dress like that. It was weird, so it's clear that they use it to do that during the ISIS time, and they still, and it's so obvious for me they are how much they have money. They are rich, you know, comparing to the Syrian IDPs and Iraqi refugees. I can see how much the way of even the food, they invite us for a food. So they were like, in the first days they came out from Baghuz, they were like making this very nice food dishes with all the ingredients. So you could see like they have the ability to buy the good things. Even I once have a chat with the owner of the shop, and I was like, I'm surprised I can't see the goods which is available here. I cannot see it in Qamishli. And he was like, yeah, because those foreigners especially, they have specific brands. They don't eat anything. They have a special brand. They are asking, it doesn't matter how expensive it will be. So we're asking the trader in order to bring it from different places in order to, because this is what they ask.
Typical Westerners, huh?
Exactly. And no, not just this. They told me like they came, they looked, they read all the ingredients, things, you know, there is specific kind of brand they don't want to eat, they don't want to use it.
Can you talk a little bit about like the internal? So there's almost like the female police of the ISIS, like the Xebat, are actually operating inside the camp. Like, you know, the Asaish lady showed us a picture of a woman who'd been punched in the face for not wearing her veil. Like, can you talk about that? What's going on?
So what happened, like those women, already there is a document proving like what happened. The main commander of the ISIS, they already give this jihad on behalf of them to the women and children, and they told them before they get out of the Baghuz, there is a specific instructions. They informed all of them they have to follow. Until now they are following, which is one of them, like they are raising their children in a belief of Islam and Khilafah, and return back and take revenge from their fathers. Second, for the wives, in order to implement all the systems as they were, same system of the Xebat and the other
Like in Raqqa when they had it all.
Exactly, the same. They have to continue, and they have to implement it to other population in the camp as well. So what we are saying, it's a Xebat, which is a group of women who already have been trained doing this job. It's like a police. They are following every woman, single woman. If any one of them, they broke the rules, if any one of them they dare to uncover her face, for example, or to say anything or to collaborate in a way with the safe administration or with the Asaish security forces implementing the al-Hol, they will gonna directly either killing or threatening or stoning, different ways, or beating, as we say, or burning the tent. This burning the tents incidents, it wasn't happened before the Baghuz people came to here.
So they're like the most hardcore.
Exactly. So they don't allow anyone, even like you saw the female that the ISIS wife that we interviewed them, they said after we came back, they were gonna investigate with us. Who are they? What they will say. So even the intelligence woman, she's saying like none of them we can get any information. They don't dare. Even if there are some of them wanted to collaborate, provide some information, but they don't dare at all. So it's so difficult because this Xebat, they are really strong and they are really able to implement things. They are really trained. They are violent women. They can kill. They can't do anything. Even there was an incident of a Kazakhstani grandma. She killed her nephew just because she didn't wear niqab. 14 years old child.
A niece.
Niece, yeah. She killed her. She slaughtered her just because she refused to wear niqab. So Asaish, whenever they are sent, time to time killing, it's happened in that just because Xebat, they are super strict. They wanted to show everyone like you have to follow the instruction, otherwise you're gonna be killed.
I don't think people realize how serious it is in the camp. You know, like maybe we can talk about that because the Asaish lady, she was saying like we're having problems with the NGOs. You know, maybe you can talk about that because we don't hear about that.
So the problem it is like the NGO people who they are coming for a few hours, like a UN or ICRC or whatever. They came, they are functioning there for a few hours and they leave. Plus the ISIS, they are clever. They are already like a foreigner ISIS between them, so they know that how much it's important to not attack the NGOs or a UN stuff. So what they do, they pretend in front of them like they are just a woman, children around, poor they are not violent, they're not doing anything. And also these people, the NGO people, they are always talking about humanitarian principles, which is already too much functioning in this camp, comparing to all the acts of these women and children there. So they are always asking the Asaish and even the intelligence women who are working there, like, you have to be unarmed and walk between them. So the Asaish woman, she was like, I can't, they were gonna kill me. They were gonna literally kill me. So they were like, no, based on the humanitarian thing, you have to be, and they put both of them in the same side. And the proof of this, how the situation is serious there about security, is that they are attacking armed people. Not just civilian or threatening civilian or themselves between each other. They are attacking via knife, armed with a clash person. They are attacking and stabbing, and we have a minimum 4 to 5 incidents here until now.
Right, like the YPG guy we walked around with, he had the Kalashnikov, whatever. That would have been exactly the same setup as the guy that got stabbed in the back, right?
Even his comrades, he was like, say, his colleague, he was saying, be careful. If you have a clash, it doesn't matter. You are secure. Because for me, when we were walking, there was like a woman full of black clothes, so you don't know what's behind this. You don't know if she has a knife, she is hiding, and she will gonna suddenly stab you and will gonna run. And if she run, never you can find her. This is the main problem there. And also they for sure refuse to uncover them because this is the only weapon they are using against the security people who are trying to control the security there under the Islam name.
Why, like, I get it, like you have to respect religion, but these people have been murdering, slaughtering people. Why are they respecting it to that degree that it's actually a damage to themselves? Because they don't even take pictures of them without the veil. How are they meant to know what's going on?
Because, I mean, first there is these NGOs who are just I don't know, they are just talking on behalf of humanitarian things without taking in consideration the context and the background of those people. They are not normal people who are functioning or practicing their norms. It's not about religious here, it's about security, and those people have been under ISIS, this terrorist group, and they lived with them, they believe in that, they have been trained, they are violent. That child we met, for sure he was with Ashbal Khilafa. He was like the way of looking, the way of acting.
The guy that got it, he had a bullet wound in
and
his
he
arm.
also have a bullet in his arm. Why he has a bullet? If it's airstrike, I can understand it's airstrike. But bullet, it's mean that you are in the front lines.
So you think they put him in the
fighting.
front, yeah?
No, he was fighting. He's a
9
fighter.
years old as well.
Yeah, it's a fighter. So I mean, the NGOs are not taking all this information and they are wanted to have the same approach as a civilian camp as all around the world, which is completely not here. Second, it's like the Asaish or self-administration, if they implement it via force to push them to uncover their face, it will be uprising. They will gonna destroy everything. They said already, they threatened. Even the woman, she was saying, like, we have rumors, we heard the rumors, they will gonna uncover. Do you know, they said we will gonna burn all the camp. And it's true, it's one light. You have a one lighter, you will gonna just get the fire and it's all gonna transfer to.
Easy for them to do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for them if how many people will be die or killed or innocent will be there, they don't care. So you cannot just, take a decision and implement it.
What can be done, do you think? Because, like, a lot of people in the West, especially in my country, in Britain, there's, Shamima, everybody knows Shamima Begum, and everyone's saying, no, don't bring her back, don't let her have citizenship. I said, well, no, you have to, because these people can't deal with it, like, what do you think needs to be done?
I think first, each country have to take their responsibility. They have to take their international responsibility to support people first here, who are just stuck with those people by themselves. Do you know how much it's cost them to feed and take care of those people? And there is many injuries. There is I don't know.
We even saw today the little boy smashed his head open.
Exactly. Yeah. Who will gonna take care of that one? It's all self-administration. Why? Because the NGOs, what they done, they said we will not gonna provide funding or assistance to the terrorist group. The UN, the other NGOs. So they said, we don't mention ISIS to us. We will not gonna serve them. So what happened? The assistance that they are helping the IDPs and the refugees, Iraqi refugees, self-administration distributing to the ISIS family as well, based on humanitarian approach, So you saw the intelligence woman, she said there is a need for 3,000 tents right now for families, and the UN refused to give it. So what you can do? I mean, so it's a not solution. This is what I want to say. It's not solution to keep them here because they became more violent. They became more radical because there is a need. When there is a need for human beings and you cannot cover it, this makes them more violent and out of control. So I think it's if each country takes their responsibility, it will be few persons, hundreds in each country or less. Instead of put them thousands here, it's became they take their power by their unity, if they have been distributed. And I think de-radicalization programs have to be implemented in their country. Children especially, because they teach each other. You could see how they are creating the weapon, how they are acting as a behaving persons. It's too risky. So if the women will gonna still believe in their ideology, it doesn't matter. And they don't. And to keep monitoring her, I am sure. And there is a way to keep under control. I'm sure they will gonna be in a better way. But for the children, to send them to the good education, in order to reduce the effect of the mother on them. Because right now the jihad, it's here. in their perspective, they are completing the jihad that they couldn't continue it in Islamic State. So if all the states will gonna just say keep them there, it will be horrible. And it doesn't matter if they are here. That means the problem have been solved. There is thousands in their country right now, and they are so angry because they are treating them in this way. So they will gonna take revenge for those people in their country.
Yeah.
They will make explosion because they are sending the calls on the internet. Brother, save your sister in al-Hol, help us, blah blah blah. So
Yeah,
all
coming.
this
It's
coming.
Yeah.
Even I don't think the most dangerous people are those. The most dangerous people are who are in their country yet
Already back
uncovered.
in Europe.
Those uncovered, but the other one is still undercover. So no, I think they have to take their responsibilities and find the solutions.
You've worked with a lot of the kids in the camps, and we just saw a kid in a wheelchair who had his legs blown off in Baghouz. I don't know. Maybe you can explain some of the problems the kids are having there.
First, the radicalism. The children are not acting as the children. They are super violent. Even when we passed, there was a minor one around 5 years old. He was looking to my eyes like, literally, I will gonna kill you.
It's fuming.
Yeah, you can I can't see you. So this education problem, it's supposed to be psychological first, psychological support. Those children are need because they witnessed things that's really they need a special expertise in order to deal with them. Under the airstrike, the war, and what they saw under the ISIS time. And that woman she was mentioned, my child when he was returned back from the school, he saw the beheaded person have been slaughtered by ISIS during that time. So all these children, they witnessed it, they saw it, so it's possible, and some of them even killed. So it's not.
Yeah, we saw it on the videos, right? ISIS even filmed it. Yeah.
There is some of those kids who already killed. They are trained. We cannot recognize them, but they are trained. So we cannot just have this approach. They are children. It's more complicated. First, they have to deal case by case. They have to identify the needs of each case by itself. Psychological support, education, trying to, cover their needs, different needs as a children in order to help them to establish atmosphere which return them back to their humanity again, and reducing the effect of the mothers and ISIS wives around on them. For example, if they can take them to a nearby school in a colored place in a good way to make sport, music, things like that, make them children for a long time during the day, even when they return back to the camp during the night or whatever, it will be less. And this education for sure they will gonna change them. And so plus there is many children has a malnutrition. There is children who die because of the medical services really need more help, and the international community have to really cover these needs. NGOs have to increase their response to the camp because children are the innocent, are the victims of this, and they are one who has until now died. Like yesterday there was a new birth baby have been died. Another children next couple weeks I also they just because of malnutrition and the sun and different atmosphere conditional way. Plus there is many children handicaps and injured, and those children need help. Otherwise they will gonna have this hate and anger.
It's gonna make the extremism worse, isn't it?
Revenge in future it's coming. So I think we have to take all this in consideration.
But the West needs to do something. You know what I mean? I've just been there, and it's how is this going to explode? It's ready to go. And some people say, especially back home, why don't the YPG just kill them all? Why don't they just kill the wives? Maybe you can explain why they're not doing that.
Because first, killing is not a solution. If it's killing a solution, never. War, it's bring more. Blood, it's bring more. Plus, it's not a problem. If we kill a child here, if they kill a child here, there will be Islam around all the world. They will gonna move and they will gonna stand up to take a revenge. And they will gonna make an explosion and destroy all the world for them. So no, it's not a solution. De-radicalizing them, have a humanitarian approach with them, show them they are free in order to practicing their norms as a Muslims, but at the same time they have to respect the others. So killing for sure it's not, and here in our region we have this culture of forgiveness and good attitude with them. It's really give a good change, So this is for us, we do believe in that, and it's not costing a lot to be a human being with them, to show them that's how human beings are supposed to function. Even they killed a lot of people, 11,000 of shaheeds from this region. Even that you can see all the Asaish and everyone who are working right now, they lose their relatives, their families. Even that they said we are here not for a revenge. We are here in order to help those people to return back to be a normal people, to de-radicalizing them. Even it's so painful for us, but we have to do it. It's our humanitarian duties.
Do you really think the women can be de-radicalized though? They seem so extreme.
I think case by case again. Some of them there is a hope, and the way of approaching them, the way of dealing with them, there is a hope, because many of them they really wanna. Right now they can't. I witnessed that in Rosh camp. By good approach with them, by the YPJ who are around, the Asaish and the other people who are functioning there, they really changed. I could see there even some of them removed the hijab. Some of them completely uncover, voluntary, by themselves they do that. Now they can't, even many of them now right now they want that, but as you say, that Russian woman, because just she uncover her face, they beat her during the night, the husbah. So it's too risky for any one of them now to show their will that they want to be de-radicalized again. But if they control it, I'm sure they are human beings. Come on, I mean, for sure when you are treating them in a good way, they will gonna be changed, I'm sure.
Okay, I've got one last question. What would you say to the people in the West? We know who they are. You get these DC analysts and all this saying YPG are mistreating them. I've been there. We've just seen it. It looks like chaos, but they're doing what they can. What would your message be to those people?
I don't think either they haven't been on the ground to judge first. Second, if any of these acts it's real and they mistreat them, be sure they are super clever. Those women, they will gonna document it. They will gonna speak out. They will gonna I don't know. They will gonna make a sound. So. Plus, the philosophy of this region and the people who are functioning here, it's a completely humanitarian principles, Never they will gonna. I witnessed it. I have been in the front lines. I have been in the camps. Never I saw how the Asaish rescuing the children. I saw how they sacrifice their life. Do you know there was 2 YPG when those women get out of the Baghuz? They were evacuating them. They were helping them with their luggage, with their children, and the woman exploded himself. She has a child with her. 2 YPG full shaheed because of her. Why they wanted to just carry the child? She killed himself, the children, her children, and the 2 YPG.
Jesus Christ.
So which kind of humanitarian more they wanna? They are just sitting there. They cannot judge how far they are. They cannot judge. They have to come, and it's open. The door is open to anyone. And plus, if there is mistreatment for them, do you know how many NGOs it's here?
Yeah.
Minimum
and
20. Minimum 20. UN, all these agencies, and ICRC, everyone it's around, and it's under. You can see it. Everyone have a smartphone and they can document it. So for sure it's not true. For sure it's not because of them, because the philosophy of this region it's not that.
Okay, thank you. Brilliant. That was Xebat Abbas talking about the situation in al-Hol camp, which is the refugee place where the so-called ISIS brides are being held in Syria. To follow Xebat, she's on Twitter at Xebat_Abbas. Now that is spelled KHABAT_ABAS. Xebat, one of the best people I've ever worked with. Definitely follow her. And like I said in the intro, soon we will have a long episode where I interviewed 2 ISIS brides, so-called ISIS brides. So 2 female members of ISIS in al-Hol camp. They're from the Caribbean. And at one point they even admitted yeah, we'd get you killed if we weren't in here. It's a fascinating interview, I think. That will be on the Patreon, patreon.com/popularfront. It's a bonus episode. It won't be anywhere else. So if you want it, $5 a month. It's really not a lot. Thank you very much to those still supporting us. Patreon.com/popularfront. This episode was sponsored by the defensepost.com, defense with an S. Check them out for articles related to the world in conflict. To keep up to date with Popular Front, follow me on Twitter. That's at Jake_Hanrahan, or follow the Popular Front Twitter, which is at PopularFrontCO, like the website, www.popularfront.co. That's where all the articles are, all the updates. Basically, if you want to show someone Popular Front, just show them the website. Everything will be there, popularfront.co. Also, we're on Instagram, instagram.com/popular .front. There's lots of images there, especially from the recent trip to Syria, so do be sure to follow us there. Also, we are on YouTube. That's where the new docs will be coming. By September, there will be 3 new documentaries up on the Popular Front YouTube. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, youtube.com/popularfront. Thank you very much to the following Patreons. Without you, none of this would be possible. These people are Adam Bergsnyder, Axel Iverson, Brian McLaughlin, Chad Walker, Dan Dunham, Daniel Shearer, Diana Gorvanek, Emiliano, Emily Molly, Fletcher Tate, Jack Mayhoff, James from Discord, Joanne Stocker, Joel Tambusi, Josh, Kay Hardy Roberts, Kyle N. Payne, Lawrence Abrahams, LH, Margaret Bowling, Moody Al-Rashid, Noah, Ari from the Discord, Patrick Bronte, Peter McCormack from What Bitcoin Did, Q-Ball, Russia Al-Akidi, Royal Payne Diaz, Ryan Sandercock, Scartoon Music, Scott Jonesy, Sebastian, Sarusha Hawazi, Stephen Davila, Teddy, Tom Lochrin, Tony Bin, Vida Provost and Zachary Inch. And also just want to say a big thank you to Robert Evans, who, helped me go out there to Syria to do all this work. He paid for the trip. I went out there to help him and managed to do Popular Front stuff on the side, which was a great look for us. Also, thank you very much to Anthony Kabarak. He helped us raise funds for necessary equipment to use whilst in Syria. So thank you very much. Please do consider supporting us. Patreon.com/popularfront is all growing rapidly right now, and I'm struggling to juggle it all myself. So the bigger we grow, the better it gets. I can pay people to do bits here and there, and we can go and do a lot more stuff and focus on the content. Music in this episode, the intro was by Home and the outro was by Son of Old. Go to his SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/son-of-old.